Hello, I'm Minecrafter Joe, and today I'd like to show you 3 different piston doors that you can build right now. Starting things off with a 1x1 piston door. Now I know what you're thinking, how on earth do you make a 1x1 piston door when you can't fit through it? Well, watch and see. We can just walk straight through and bam, we have a long tunnel that we can go through just like this, and it's that simple. Now as you can see, I am wearing Soul Speed 3 boots, and while you could totally make this without that, I find it's much better to actually go down the little hallway in there with wearing Soul Speed boots on top of the floor so that you can actually go faster. But as you can see, this is a very simple circuit. You just simply step on the pressure plate, this piston pushes you into crawl mode, and the other one pulls the door away, and off you go. Next up, we have the standard 2x2 piston door. You simply walk over the pressure plates, it opens up, you can go through to full sprint, it's super duper fast, really useful. Just a super simple door that you can use basically anywhere to improve the look over a sort of standard wooden door. And last but not least, we have the behemoth, the 3x3 door, which while slow is super cool. All we have to do is walk over the pressure plate, and as you can see, door opens right up, walk through, pressure plate, door closes behind us. So now let's see how to build each of these. Starting things off with the little one over here. You're just going to need some simple redstone components for this. And you're going to go ahead and start out by just placing a sticky piston like this, and putting a block on it like that. This is going to be your door. Then place redstone dust going back 2 blocks like this and 2 blocks in every direction like that. Then right here, place a block with a redstone torch on the side. Then going into the back of that block, place a repeater and a redstone dust behind the repeater. Then build some little stairs going down like this and step the redstone dust down 3 blocks across the bottom and up the other side. Then 1 more redstone dust here and put a repeater going into it. And then put 3 redstone dust in a line after that. Then make a pulse extender out of 2 comparators by placing them like this with redstone dust on the back. Then place 2 redstone dust going back like this, and 1 to the side, then break this block and put redstone dust right there. Then dig down 1 more block, and 3 like that, and go across 3 blocks like that, and then put blocks here and here. Then place a pressure plate right here, and as you can see, you already have the first part of it done. Then place a redstone dust going back like this, and then a block, and put redstone dust on top, and then another block, and then a redstone torch on top of that. Then place a couple blocks like this so that you can put a piston right next to the redstone torch facing straight down at the pressure plate. And you can break the block on top. Now as you can see, when you walk underneath, it'll automatically push straight down and you can go along like this. We'll of course need to actually make sort of a tunnel so that you can actually go down it without it automatically standing you back up again. You can also put soul sand down on the floor like this if you'd like to go down it faster. And you can now decorate this however you would like to make it so that it looks good in your scene that you're building it in. And here's a view of the whole circuit in case you need to go back and check anything. And there's the 1x1 piston door. Let's move on to the 2x2. Start by placing the blocks you'd like to use for a door in a square like this. Then take some sticky pistons and make them so that they're facing the blocks with 1 block space in between on both sides. Then place blocks here and here, and a redstone torch right there, and do that on both sides as well. The pistons should automatically push into the blocks like that. Then go 2 blocks out in front of the door and dig down 2 blocks right here, here, and right there. And then an extra block here and an extra block right there. Then place redstone dust going all the way along the bottom and up the sides and into the blocks with the redstone torch on both sides. Then place these 2 blocks back like that and put pressure plates on it. If you stand on the pressure plates, the door should open in front of you. And now you're just going to simply repeat the pressure plate setup on the other side. Go 2 blocks down, 4 blocks along like this, block here and block there, redstone dust coming out and down the trough, up the other side and into the other block, blocks on top, and pressure plates like that. You now have a 2x2 piston door, a very bare bones one though, so you're going to need to go ahead and decorate this thing up by placing blocks like this. Just be aware that you don't accidentally break redstone like you would if you did that. As you can see, the door now doesn't work. So just make sure you're aware of that, and you can continue decorating up your door however you'd like. Here's a view of the whole thing in case you need to check anything. And that's how you build the 2x2 piston door. And now we can move on to the big one, the 3x3 piston door. I'd just like to say, if you've made it this far through the video, then please consider subscribing. It's completely free, helps me out a ton, and you can always unsubscribe later. But now back to the build. All we have to do is press this button here, and as you can see, door goes straight open like that. Push the button on the other side, door closes. That simple. You could easily hook up these buttons to other input sources if you wanted to as well, but now let's get into the tutorial. As you can see, this is a bit of a complicated design here, so you're going to need to make sure that you pay close attention as I show you how to build it. You're going to start by digging a 3-block slot in the ground like this and putting redstone dust in every slot. Then put a block on the side and a block on top of that like that. Then place a repeater here set to 2 ticks delay with a redstone dust behind it. And put 2 observers straight on top of it like this. Then put an observer here on top of this redstone dust with a block on top. Then put 2 sticky pistons on top of each other behind it like that. Then set a repeater going into this piston here set to max delay. Then put a repeater facing this direction set to 2 ticks. And redstone dust between these like this. And an observer facing into that redstone dust right there. It should all now look like this. Then put a piston on top of this observer here, and another one facing this direction on top of that piston. And another observer on top of that repeater right there. Then put 2 observers, one here and one here. Put a block on top of this one and redstone dust on top of that one. Place another observer on top of that right there. Put a block on top of it and redstone dust on top of that block. Then place 3 pistons, one here, and one here. Then place a block on here and redstone dust on top of that. And just like the other side, put pistons here, here, and here. It should all now look like this. Build a square in the shape here. This is going to be your door in the end. Then go up 3 blocks from the door, break these blocks, and put a sticky piston facing straight down like that. You can also build up the frame of your door by putting blocks around it, something like this. Then put blocks around here and make it so redstone dust connects that piston to that redstone there. Now, if you place a repeater facing to that block there and then power it, the door will open. If there's any gaps, you can fill them in like that. And if you remove the torch, it goes back together. Now you can rig up anything you want to open this, but what I would recommend is a T flip-flop like I've built over here. To build one, simply place a dropper here like this, one facing up, and then one facing over this direction. And put a hopper going down into that one like that. Then put a comparator and a repeater coming out of that right there, and a repeater going into that right there. Now as you can see, if you give this an input right here, it turns the output on, do it again, and it turns it off. So now just take a line and run it out of this into this repeater over here. Now if you give this an input, the door will open, and if you press the button again, the door will shut. You just have to hook this redstone line into anything you want to activate the door. I'm also going to put some stairs like this so you can actually get up to the door. So now I've got it set up where you can push this button here, the door opens, and on the other side, there's another button you can press which will automatically shut it. You can of course hook this up to pressure plates too. Just make sure you build the door out of piston movable blocks, otherwise it definitely will not work. So there we have it folks, 3 varying sizes of piston doors that you can use in your builds. I hope you enjoyed. Check out one of these videos popping up on your screen because YouTube thinks you'll like it, so I'll see you next time, and goodbye!